G'day whisky lovers, welcome to the Hard Malt channel. My name's Tim, and today I have an independent bottle review for you. Today what we've got is a bottling by Signatory Vintage. This is part of their 100 proof range. It's unchill filtered, no added colour, tick. This is a heavily peated version of Nevis, distilled in 2019, and it's aged 5 years and bottled at 57.1%, which is 100 imperial proof. So a little bit of history lesson while I get some of this in the glass. Back in the 16th century in England, when they were just starting to develop a taxation system on spirits and alcohol, they had to come up with a way of determining the strength of different spirits, so they knew how much could they tax it. So this is where the term proof comes in that one of the early methods that they used to use is they used to pour some out and try to set it on fire. Now, if it was able to maintain combustion, i.e. if you're able to light it and it would maintain a flame, that was considered proof that the strength of the alcohol was at least 50% alcohol by weight. Notice I say weight, not volume. So that was one early method used. So if a spirit was found to be 100 proof, i.e. 50% alcohol by weight, that would of course attract a larger tax than something that was underproof. Another early method they used to use is the gunpowder method, which was they would soak some gunpowder in the spirit and then see how that reacts to being lit on fire. That proved to be somewhat slightly more accurate, they say, and from that method they were able to determine that the alcohol by volume, if it was able to maintain combustion, was 57.1%. So this became imperial, 100 imperial proof. Among other methods, by the 17th century, they were starting to actually test the gravity of the alcohol or the spirit, and be able to determine the alcohol by volume that way. But it maintained as 100 proof imperial being 57.1%. So hence what this is bottled at. In the US, they came up with their own system of proof, which was simply that proof was going to be double the alcohol by volume. So if it was 50%, it would be 50% ABV, it would be 100 proof. So that's why there's a difference between when you see 100 proof being 57.1% or 100 proof bourbon, for example, being 50%. So that one out of the way. Now, as I said, this is distilled at Nevis, bottled by Signatory Vintage, and most of the Signatory Vintage range these days, whether it's the this 100 proof range, the unchill filtered range, or some of the other ranges they've got out at the moment, the vast majority are all unchill filtered and natural colour and offered at pretty fair prices. So if you've never dabbled with some Signatory Vintage bottlings, I suggest you have a look, see what you can get and give them a shot. Now let's see what we've got here. So straight off I get quite a waft of smoke. It's a salty smoke. Even reminds me of the smell of Vegemite, if you like. Some people might not know Vegemite as such, but they might know Promite or Marmite. And probably everyone in the US probably hates all three. But what I'm getting at is there's a real salty, earthy, smoky sort of a character. You don't get smoke from Vegemite, but salty sort of character you do. I'd even say a bit of machine shop in there. So when I say machine shop, I mean like a well-oiled machine oil, perhaps a bit of metal swarf as well. In a good way though. Might sound like really strange things to want to smell in your whiskey, but these are notes that it's what it reminds me of or makes me think of. So it may not necessarily be exactly what it tastes like. And I dare say there's a bit of wet mulch. So think of mulched leaves and bark just after it's been raining. All right, let's see how it is on the palate. Full of flavour. Smoky and ashy, but not really sooty. Bit more of the machine shop sort of flavours are coming. Well, flavour's probably the wrong word for machine shop, but machine shop vibe. Think oily rags, that kind of thing. Again, that wet mulch is there, and you're also getting a fair bit of the true distillate character coming through. It's not overpowered by this has been aged in refill Oloroso sherry butts. As I said, it's aged 5 years, says so on the label. So it's not coming across as 5 years. It drinks quite a bit older than that, towards 8 years or 9 years perhaps. And it's definitely not overpowered by the Oloroso casks either. Again, that big salty, earthy smokiness is still there. Now a little bit more of the sherry sort of, I want to say fruit, but not quite. I'd probably say it's giving me more of the very, very subtle hints of chocolate coming from the sherry casks on this one. As I said, it doesn't drink like it's just 5 years old, so there could be some older liquid in this, or it's just that well done. Also, it doesn't drink like it's 57.1% either. Really easy to drink. It's got a nice sort of, I'd say medium length finish of just lingering smoke and earthiness. And yeah, this is just one you want to keep going back for another sip. Very easy to drink, this one. Really good quality stuff. That's the other thing with especially Signatory Vintage, that as far as my experience with Signatory Vintage goes, I haven't had a bad bottle from them. They're not all going to be outrageous bangers, especially at the lower end of the range. Like this is, it's a budget friendly range, this 100 proof. as is some of the unchill filtered range. Yeah, it's excellent quality, great flavour. You're not going to be shy about opening it at the fair price that you pay for this. And as I said, I've tried a few different Signatory vintages now, and I haven't had a bad one, so I'd absolutely recommend them. And perhaps might even have another one to review in the next video. But there we have it for this this particular bottling, the Signatory Vintage Ben Nevis 2019 5-year-old, 100 proof. Excellent whiskey. Do try it. Slán